I think they claim there are like 400,000 abortions a year, and I think that's bullshit. I think it's much lower, probably less than 4,000. Could be less than 400. Women have so many options to prevent pregnancy, so many forms of birth control, and I think it's just crazy to think women would want to go to some clinic and be put up on this alien abduction chair and have their legs splayed wide while somebody with a flashlight and a pair of forceps goes in. I mean, most people don't want to go to the doctor if they got like a fucking hemorrhoid, and you think that women want to go gleefully to the abortionist, and
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
But however,
there's nothing more invasive than that. I mean, holy shit, it'd be like
yeah, I agree. But
imagine
you know that's the
imagine
last
I mean,
resort.
what?
I agree with that's the last resort because they're women. They don't know, even though there's apps to like track your cycles and ovulation. Some of them don't or too incompetent, and it leads to that abortion where they'll have like a baby or whatever, like in their
Um,
stomach, and they have to like
but no,
purge
I'm
it.
saying they're all on hormonal birth control. They're all on the NuvaRing or the pill. I mean, they have so many options. Whether it's not an IED, an IUD,
Yeah,
intrauterine device. It's funny, man. The IUD turned out to be more destructive to America than the IEDs. Um,
and that's the
but
one they
no,
implant in their arm or their uterus.
yeah, shove it right up in there like some. It's like rooting around in the couch on the cover of that Crosby, Stills and Nash album. All these things down there in the cushions, like coins and stuff that you lost long ago. And that's what they do. They go to their student health care clinic and they get this thing shoved real deep up inside their pussy to prevent themselves from getting pregnant. They used to call it like the sponge. Like if you've ever seen that episode of Seinfeld, it was called like the spermicidal sponge, and it was the type of birth control favored by Elaine. And she was like, she learned that they stopped making them, so she bought up all the boxes that were left. And it was like this thing that you shove deep inside your pussy to prevent pregnancy. But I mean, they got literally like a litany, a cornucopia of options to choose from. So I really don't think women are not that fucking stupid that I'm gonna be put up on a this alien abduction chair with a bright light in my face, and I'm gonna have something with a little drill shoved up inside of me. No way, no way. I mean, they want to have the right. That's the thing, man. Like people are, well, why are they so vocal? Well, it's for the same reason. Like, why do you see like I see tons of old ladies getting worked up about abortion. I'm seeing women who are way past childbearing age, and they're the most fucking frothing at the mouth. Like I looked up this old neighbor of mine from like 25 years ago. This old bitch who never had kids, and she just posts nonstop shit about abortion, and she's like, how about we have mandatory vasectomies for men instead? And this bitch is like 75 years old, never had kids, but she's so fucking
But at the
invested in it.
protests, it's all like college aged women, right?
Yeah,
We could
yeah,
look at
Mostly,
any footages
mostly,
of that.
mostly. But here's the thing: it's like they want to have the right to have an abortion, even though they, in all likelihood, will never have an abortion. You know what I mean? It's like when you tell somebody not to do something, they suddenly start to want to do it, even though beforehand they never had any inkling of saying, I want to do that. If like it's like oppositional defiant personality disorder. Like if you don't tell somebody not to do something, they're not going to do it. But as soon as you start saying that's forbidden, don't you ever go into this room. It's a secret room. It's off limits to you. Don't you ever fucking go inside. Then they're going to be really curious. I want to go inside. And it's the same thing with
so
food.
you're
Yeah.
essentially saying that they didn't really have like a consideration for it, but when like faced with the camera and forced to like give a verdict, they would obviously opt for defiance and say no, flat out no. They wouldn't. I mean, they would say they would act on it, but they actually don't go through with it. That's what you're
I
saying.
think it's a manufactured issue to elicit outrage and gender division. I don't think many.
Mhm.
It's not an action. I mean, we're not in wartime with rape gangs and no options to contraception. It is really a moot point, and it used to be like what Bill
That's
Clinton
what
said.
Sergeant Willie Pete says.
Yeah, Bill Clinton used to say, what was the motto? He said, "Let's keep abortions legal, safe, and rare." That was what he said in the '90s. And now that would be seen. It's funny how like somebody like Bill Clinton from 25 years ago would be seen as a fascist today. Like, don't ask, don't tell. Oh, holy shit! you could not even try to roll back things to don't ask, don't tell. Like that would be considered a fascist. Like, oh, you're telling people not to be open about who they really are. I mean, can you imagine just 25 years ago, the policy was don't ask, don't tell, and if you publicly came out as gay, they discharged you from the military, and that was under Bill Clinton. Isn't that crazy? That's
Hey,
the
did you do your homework assignment and listen to the tapes?
no, no, I didn't have a chance.
Richard
I've
Day?
been busy. I've been
Oh
busy.
man, that's
I'll
a
listen
late
to it.
assignment.
I'll
Dude,
listen
for
to it.
some reason, people like there's some recent clips about Bill Clinton giving speeches, and they were like
Yeah,
all like amazed by his like quote unquote charisma or like the slow cadence of how he speaks, like that whole like southern like jive or
yeah,
whatever. I didn't
yeah,
get it. I was too young for that.
yeah. I mean, I was kind of too young too, but yeah, he was very like deliberate. He was well spoken, and he conveyed a lot of empathy. Like he seemed like he was genuine when he spoke. Like like he'd look straight in the camera and he'd say, "Let me repeat," and he'd punctuate the air, stab it with his finger. Let me repeat. I did not have sexual
Sexual
relations
relation.
with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Like he came across as very genuine and sincere. Um, um, like Dave Chappelle, he made a joke about comparing like Clinton to Bush Jr., and he said like Bill Clinton was like very personable. Like he'd go into a crowd of blacks, and he'd pick up some black child, some little black baby that somebody had brought to the crowd, and he would scoop up that little nigger baby and give him a kiss
Well,
on the
George
cheek.
W. Bush was always going to Africa and dancing with like random tribes and
Oh, I
stuff for
saw
like
that.
half his
Well,
presidency. Yeah,
no,
he did a lot of
you
that.
think it's just a coincidence that all the white presidents that this country has had for like the last many decades have made white men look terrible?
Uh, with Donald Trump, I don't know, because I see a lot of normies like getting on that bandwagon, right? With Donald Trump, especially like Hispanic people, Hispanic men. So again, but I guess yeah, Trump only appeals to men. It seems.
I think he causes a real disgust in women of all ages. I don't think you'd find any woman who would be pro-Trump. I think
Older white women that are like in marriages
Luke.
and they have like kids and are like at least 40 years old. A lot
Mm,
of them are pro-Trump. A lot of them are pro-Trump. But
I
You,
think
yeah,
you know what's interesting, right? Like when you see like these pictures or these videos of like women being pro Trump, they're all like bimbos and whatever. It makes you think, yeah, all the women that are quote unquote pro Trump, they're all like manufactured or like false agents or whatever.
was there like a porn star like just like she was showing her tits at some sports game for Trump or something?
Yeah, it's like they've been paid off
I mean,
to be like pro
Trump's
Trump.
known to be one of these elites that dabble in the sex trafficking of like these models to elite circles that we used to talk about a lot. Like, two of his wives are like sexually trafficked women into the United States to,
you
you
know
know,
you could have success with young women. This is how you would do it, and you would have to you like go up to them and you would say something like, there's I just I feel compelled. I have to tell you this, that I personally find Donald Trump detestable and loathsome, and I think it's
I
so
don't think so.
I think it's so I think
You
it's
look at
so
these young
important.
couples
Hold on,
and
hold on.
that
Oh, go
eminent
ahead. All
posts.
right.
All these young couples I'm gonna post are apolitical. Like only losers care about politics. Only like losers are focused on Kamala or Trump. Like only low tier, like the bottom 25% of society. The people who are coupled up, they don't give a fuck about any of this. Usually, they're young too. Like they don't even know what the fuck's going on. They're
I
focused on
doubt it.
vacations. They're focused on Instagram.
Though, if
No
you
young woman cares about
they
the
won't
election right now.
they won't make it their focus. But I'm sure if you still asked them who would you vote for, the young woman would say Kamala. She may not be following all the updates if she's got like a life going on, but I would bet 90 plus times out of 100, she would still say I'm voting for the Democrats. So what I'm saying is, okay, say you target, and besides, okay, those women are in a relationship. You want to target the ones who aren't. I'm telling you, you'd have good success if you went up to such a woman.
Almost no women are not in a relationship. I just
It
again,
seems like that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yep.
So are they asexual or what? Are they asexual? They hate men, but all of them are in relationships. ship? Like, what's the deal here?
They do it out of like a sense of utility to cross something off their list. It doesn't seem like they're smitten with the guy, like they're head over heels. It doesn't seem like they're enamored. It's just like one of many things to cross off the list, and they found some guy who's non-objectionable,
There
who
is a
they'll
lot of
tolerate.
utility. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
someone to split the rent with, or
yeah,
to take care of the pet, babysit the pet that you have.
yeah,
There is a lot
yeah.
of utility.
I mean, are you gonna deny that I see almost like no displays of like passion or romance? I don't see people holding hands or kissing
You're
or
selectively, but I mean, we're seeing that, like, you can post a lot of like young white couples in college, and you see that. I mean, this it's been posted 100 times in
Dude, you
this.
see the store I went 2 days ago when I posted following around couples holding hands and like PDA. Like, so it's like
Yeah,
I don't
and
know
all these
they
young white women, they're baking cookies for young white men and going to their house, and like for the sorority fraternity.
you're baking cookies. Sure they are.
yeah, we just posted it today, man. You have me blocked, so
Whatever.
you
It sounds like more schizo shit. On the one hand, you guys can't stop uploading more BBC
You're the
oh
real
porn.
yeah,
schizo
we're
because you
mad.
don't go
You're
out.
the
We know
schizo.
that you
No,
just
you're
wait
the
out
Dude, it's
till
mud
tunnel.
slaw. He
you
just
don't
invoked
even
the BBC.
you don't even know what schizophrenia is. Schizophrenia is believing in multiple and conflicting, mutually incompatible things simultaneously. On the one hand,
Yeah,
all you
that's what
guys
you
do.
do. You say all
No,
women are
that's what you
asexual, they
do.
hate men, but they're all in
All
relationships at the same time.
all you do is post one Instagram or TikTok of a white girl with a black, one after another, and now you
Where are
just
your
turn around
examples, though? Where are
and
your
now you
examples and
now you
anecdotes?
turn around and say all the white women are baking cookies for white chads. Which store? So which narrative is it? Is it they're all coal burners, or are they all
No,
cookie
both can be
bakers?
happening at the same time. You're just trying to paint it with a broad brush. Everything you say and do is just to make yourself comfortable that you lost out on the sexual market. That's all. That's all. You like why you're here. That's all
We're
why you rant.